So I have already done my spoiler-free review. If you guys would like that, I will have it pop up so you can go check that out. Much of what I said in that relates to the non-spoilery elements. So this is going to be just a review focusing on the spoilery elements that I couldn't mention in there. With that in mind, let's get to that. So first and foremost, this film took a lot of unexpected turns, quite honestly. Talking about spoilers, I'm going to be all over the place. Again, if you want a more structured review, that's in the spoiler-free one. But there's a lot of elements of this film I did not expect. Like Peter working with all the villains to actually build cures for them, so when they get sent back, they can continue to live their lives and be in control of their lives. Like, he is very much about trying to fix what is wrong with these people and finding the good within them, which I found absolutely amazing and one of the most core Spider-Man aspects of anything ever. Like, this film goes there to such a big degree that you're honestly kind of shocked by how much time they spend on this, which brings me to the next step. Sometimes somebody cannot be trusted, which can lead to death of loved ones. Again, a giant part of Spider-Man, and in this, unfortunately, it is Aunt May. And the way they handle that scene, I mean, the silence in my theater was telling. Like, it was pure shock because you just don't see it coming, especially where it happens in the film, because you would think it happens close to the finale. No, it doesn't. There is this specific one where it happens. You're just like, okay, wow, yeah, they went there. And then the second act is fully in play. So you have a lot of time to sit with this and rationalize and feel for Peter and what's going on here. Which brings me to Peter and Peter and Peter. Because, as we know, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are a huge part of this film. Like, no joke, they're a substantial part of this film. They help him work on these cures. They're helping him, cope with things. They're helping him throughout the story, throughout the second and third act, and the final fight, obviously, which is huge. And there's a lot of heart in it, a lot of emotion. There's this great sense of closure to the Amazing Spider-Man universe. Seeing Andrew Garfield genuinely happy to be Spider-Man wasn't just one of those things that you never thought you would see. Like, it's something that makes you look back on those films, and much like Marvel Studios has tried with some of their weaker entries to make them better in the future by retroactively retconning a couple things or referencing things and trying to spin them in a different way. They do that with The Amazing Spider-Man. They retroactively make those films better, which honestly was shocking. And they even do some of this with the Raimi stuff, specifically with the third film, and how they develop Norman Osborn further, and how Alfred Molina's Doc Ock ties to this, and what happens with Sandman and his more personal story. Even the Lizard from The Amazing Spider-Man gets more character development here. I was honestly so, like, I don't know how to explain this film. Like, it's shocked me every step of the way. And one thing I think this film plays around with a lot, and it handles it well, is nostalgia. And they tiptoe that line that's very fine, where this is still very much a MCU film. It's a film about MCU's Peter Parker. And just about every single line, everything that's going on, what the other Spider-Men say, all contributes to this feeling of this story needs to help the growth of Peter Parker. And specifically when they get to the "with great power comes great responsibility" line. Of course, the importance of that line and what it means and what it is to Peter Parker and him learning the lesson. And there are genuinely those moments where you're like, is he going to go too far at the end? And the other Spider-Man all have their moments with helping contribute to that bigger moment and how it all comes together. And at that point in the final fight between Peter and Norman Osborn, where he's pretty much busting out like PlayStation 4 combos on him, and he's about to legitimately kill the Goblin. And this is where, Tobey Maguire steps in. You have another heartfelt moment. It's just so well balanced and just makes sense overall to the bigger idea of Spider-Man and the multiverse. We will be doing a bigger spoiler discussion. I just wanted to get some of my quick reviewy, spoilery thoughts out there. Overall, yeah, this film, it's top tier Marvel. That's for sure.